it's so annoying to me that I have to like because there's things I want to teach as far as like how I want to continue this battle with the Freemasons apparently that I'm mixed in or Matrix, whatever you want to call it, but in order to I see how they tie together, like things that I can teach tie in with how did I get there? How did I find this out? How do I know this? It's accessible to anyone, which is what I want to teach. However, I understand time and place for things, but like, yeah, I just want to, because it's such a long and confusing story, and I want to get every detail like correctly out there. I just have to explain like, excuse me. I don't know. Like, as far as this whole, that's the trouble I'm in is that I've come across a little blip, blippy glip, blippity blip blop in the system, so to speak, where any person can really come into the problem that I've come into, okay, just by going within. It's like, yeah, I'm a spiritual person and I believe my spiritual family is strong. That's not my fault. But it can. The little problem that I found myself in is that it could happen to anyone, and that was my issue. I tried offering to speak to some brothers about what can we do about that. I'm not trying to expose. I guess I was though, because. Come to find out, you guys don't want. I understand why now, okay? But yeah, like there. Basically, if you just go with it, you can get yourself. I wasn't kidding when I said you'll get yourself shot in the streets, guys. Okay, it can have. It can happen to anybody. It just so happened to be maybe somebody from a line that don't forget. But it can happen is my point, and I will get into that, and I will want to teach people like how can you like the steps that I took, or and if the steps I took aren't for you, what steps would be for you? Because basically, like, my going within is just I'm very mental, okay? If you are into astrology and whatnot, you would know, like, you can use that. Mind you, everything I know and I learned is through work. Like, you gotta do the work. There's times where I've abandoned, like, there was one point in time where I became a hardcore Christian. It's like, I even put my YouTube name as Sam Little One. And I truly was believing what I was reading, though. Oh my God, I got rid of my freaking, like, channeling notes that I had, crystal. I did all of that, okay? Because here, again, the heart, you could call it the soul, whatever, what your passion maker, okay? I follow that. Then just as easily I can, if it doesn't make sense to me anymore, but really anyone can do it. So as far as astrology, I've always been into that, like, since growing up. My mom is my mom, so I know, like, I always had astrology books and stuff. I wasn't raised with any religion or anything. I always saw, like, my grandparents are very Italian, so, all the typical, like, Catholic pictures that you see, and I just, even as a kid, was like, oh boy, it was just innate in me, okay? There's not that I was against God or Jesus. Like I said, I always believed, like, and plus I saw stuff as a child. I heard things. I'm psychic. It's a true thing. It's a real thing, people. And really all it is just reading between the lines of things, whether that be visually, I can't, what is it called when you can hear? Because that's kind of what my thing is too. I hear, like, one time, for instance, I just asked, what's my guardian angel's name? And I heard Norris. And I'm like, what does that? I looked up the name Norris, and it meant caregiver or caretaker or caregiver in French. And I'm like, that's kind of Coincidental? That's what? That's weird. No, but it really was like, and then I'm just like, oh, okay. To me, that's called a confirmation. Now, like I said, I'm very mental. My sun and moon are Libra, and my ascendant is Gemini. Pretty kooky, if anybody knows anything about astrology. I'm always thinking in way, but it's all thinking. I feel too, don't get me wrong, but my psychic faculties come from a lot of mental plane, all right? But I would be able to teach everyone that, like, hey, look at your chart. This is what you would do. But I can't because I have to, like, stop to pause to tell this story because it does correlate, I feel, with it. So, like, I'll get into eventually how I even learned of the Cathars and why they are so significant to me and how I know that and, like, past life stuff and that kind of, like, I'll get into that. I would love to just get into it right off the bat. But I also have, like, life going on at the same time. Like, I still want to clean my apartment. And I'm like, no, Sam, you got to make that video explaining now. The people want to know. They must know now. And it's like, okay. The broom gets put down. I'm trying to balance and I have to go to court tomorrow, guys, because my rent is like slightly late. And remember how I told you like they were really wanting to get in that week after the 3rd, which I'll still get into why that is. Basically, like it has to do with my refrigerator and heater, like you guys, and walls. Like, I'm just throwing that out there in case something blows up but between now and tomorrow. But yeah, I have to go to court tomorrow. It's just to pay my rent. It's like, really, it wasn't even that late. But okay, whatever, guys. So, yeah, I will get back to that.